Eric, we have not had a chance to do a show together since President Trump's victory. Can you just reflect on what you've always said? You said this clearly and under the really nasty treatment by the media and some in the church. You have said, and I've agreed, that God has his hand on Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Please,
first of all, who cares what anybody says? The fact is that there are people that I know who have said that, and I don't say this lightly. Like when somebody speaks prophetically or says God said, I take that very seriously, because if God didn't say, then you should shut up. But there are people I know who hear from God, and to some extent I do, and you try to see what is God saying. Some people kind of hear directly, but I will just say bluntly, Donald Trump, a flawed vessel, a human being like you, like me, has been prepared by God for this moment in history. He is outrageously talented and gifted, and God has prepared him for this moment. And not just that, but I believe has his hand on him. I believe has anointed him to do God's work. And so that's not really a religious thing, to do God's work, to do good, to do right, I have a keen sense of that. And I have known that for some time. And I also know, Charlie, and you know, we're in a war. It's a spiritual war. It's a war on every level, but at its heart, it's spiritual. It's between good and evil. And God has chosen Trump to be his principal warrior in this season. And I rejoice. And the fact that he won, I knew he would win, but we're in a war. So I didn't know whether he would win, whether it would take weeks to determine it, how much they would try to steal. We know that they stole other elections. So we continue to be in a war. And as you say, and as I say constantly, we have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. But the good news is we get to fight. If he had lost, it's over. It's over. God preserved this nation just as God preserved Donald Trump's life for God's purposes. And those of us who claim to care about what's good and true and beautiful, who claim to love America and freedom, we have to do everything we can. But it is a holy privilege that we get to fight. It would be like fighting with George Washington for the cause of liberty. What a glorious thing that we could fight for such a thing as liberty in America. It's a privilege. And so, to me, part of the Bonhoeffer film is to exhort people, like, you got to put your faith into action. You've got to live out your faith. You've got to stop talking about it and ignoring it in the real world. God wants you to live it out. And so I think because of this election, we have an opportunity to do that. And we're going to spend the next years doing that, and we'll see what God has. Frankly, I'm excited.
And what a time to be alive. Just remind the audience one more time about the film, Eric, how people can watch it, see it, the call to action, please.
It's in theaters everywhere across this country. That will probably end after this weekend. So I am begging people to see it this week, see it this weekend, tell everyone you know. You can go to angel.com. They didn't make the film. They're the distributors of the film, angel.com. And I know there are still discount tickets at angel.com/Eric, but it is all over the country. And while it is in theaters, take advantage of it, drag people who aren't on the same page as you are, and tell the world on social media. Very, very important that this film would succeed.